arrived in Aceh 1 month after the tsunami. It's been 3 years and I'm back in the region hoping to see how our livelihood programs contributed to the recovery of Aceh. Aceh was the place where we really began to develop our ideas on how to get cash into the economy and employ the same affected population to build their livelihoods. Within weeks of cash to work starting, there was a mass movement back to their lands, which was something we weren't prepared for, but we managed to cope with. But it was just one of these effects which was just phenomenal. I mean, since the Aceh response and also Sri Lanka, we've managed to do cash work in programs which previously would never have been conceived possible. Cash grants was the next phase from the cash work, because then we were actually be able to identify what different groups of people existed in the community, what they did before, and then begin to understand how much would be needed in order to bring them back to what they were doing before. So this is Jaffa, who is one of the first people to receive our cash grants. So he is obviously a carpenter, and so with his cash grant, initially he was able to buy this exact machine and also to be able to reconstruct some of his warehouse. I actually remember you buying this and showing it to me. Jaffa seemed to be doing very well, and it was a real joy to see how his business had grown.
Ya, usahanya sekarang insya Allah baik-baik saja. Ada banyak order yang dari pribadi, juga ada dari rumah sekolah, bikin kursi.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Semua 60-an.
For us, a perfect start when it came to providing a grant, and exactly our focus, because our grants were in order to get people like him, skilled traders, back into business so that they could then begin to reconstruct their lives, but not just for himself, but for the whole community. Well, being back here does bring back some memories. I'm shivering actually, it's quite incredible. Flying over Chalang, the place was flattened. Only a few buildings were standing. The helicopter journey allowed the team to see the extent of the destruction. It was overwhelming. The survivors were scattered in the hillside and in spontaneous camps. And we actually landed in this exact location. The hypothesis was that if we came here and actually injected cash into the economy, we could actually begin to invigorate the recovery. Because really what was happening in Chalang, because it was so isolated, the emergency operations were continuing, they were going on, but there wasn't any movement forward, there wasn't any consideration or transition into recovery. This is the first construction I remember actually taking place. Now look at it. You've got shops everywhere. You've got a tarmac road, which was unconceivable. You have motorbikes zooming up and down. I mean, it's a transformation, an absolute transformation. Come here, come here. During this trip, I hope to meet with some of the women and men who got cash grants from Oxfam and see how their businesses are doing. Harry Atti is going to show me around.
Apa kabar? Baik.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Jonathan, this is Ibu Nilawati. She discussed with other women, other women in the village, and start to form the group. Yeah, we call self-help group. So she got the cash grant from Oxfam, and she start to build the small shop.
Ya, lama anak kelompok kita kan bisa bekerja sama gitu. Nanti kalau misalnya temannya lagi butuh bantuan, kita bantu. Kalau kita butuh bantuan, temannya bantu.
From our survey, maybe 2 weeks ago, we done the baseline survey. So the result is most of them said the group is useful for them.
Oxfam thought that it was especially important to support women, give them the chance to be self-sufficient and improve their standing in the community.
Dengan ada itunya 1 juta, kita tambah sedikit, ada 3 juta misalnya kan. Tapi saya udah lupa tuh berapa yang saya tambah. Pokoknya yang dari situlah saya mulai, dari Oxfam pertama kita mulai.
That was really good, seeing Safrina do so well. But what was really interesting was the fact that she was able to, with the grant, have an income, but also to employ people, which was something which we had never imagined when we conceived this program. Well, the aims of the cash grants were to actually get business people back into business following the tsunami. We had traders, we had professional people, and what we saw earlier was a lady who did some small business was able to actually turn that into a big business which was sustainable. As well as traders, there are also professional people like carpenters and also like barbers. My head's still there. Well, after visiting all those other businesses, it kind of makes me hungry, and the perfect place to be is with Salmia, and she's actually a cake maker, a recipient of one of the Oxfam cash grants. Different to the other businesses, she works from home, so it's a cottage industry, and she makes the cakes in the morning, and then she goes off to the markets and sells them in the different coffee shops.
Nggak tahu. Ya, kalau kami enak pribadi. Iya, daripada kelompok. Ya, kalau kelompok ini kan macam-macam. Yang sebagian idenya kayak gini, yang sebagian idenya kayak gini. Pokoknya nggak sepakat.
So in the case of Salmia, she didn't find working in the group advantageous. And that's probably because of her business. It doesn't really add any added advantage working as a group. For Oxfam, this kind of learning is really, really important because it demonstrates that there isn't one model that fits all. However, in case of agriculture, where you've got collective farmers working in rubber production or cocoa production, working as a group actually gives them a collective voice, gives them the ability to be able to bargain for their production, so for them it's more advantageous. The next step of my journey was going to be led by Muxin. He was to take me to a community where an agricultural group formed by Oxfam was growing organic rice. The bridge here was built about 2 years ago by Oxfam, and it provides direct access to the markets to 11 villages behind us. It's not a normal piece of work that Oxfam would do, but it was realised that without direct access to the market, these communities would not be able to basically develop and survive. These remnants here of these stumps was actually a bridge which was built in March 2005 by Oxfam using wood from the tsunami, but also using cash for work.
This is a natural pesticide. This is to support the production of organic rice.
The organic rice production is using new planting techniques as well as natural fertilizers and pesticides. These techniques, known as SRI, System for Rice Intensification, were introduced to the community through Oxfam-supported training. The aim is to reduce the cost of inputs, improve the yields, and eventually be more environmentally friendly and healthy.
Important for them is a smaller plot but higher production, because in this method we only use not so big land, but the production is higher if we compare with the conventional practice.
Yang pertama ni paju mendemu pada 1 ton. Habis makan 500 baru pulau.
This farmers group, as well as 40 others, is supported by a farmers service centre established by Oxfam and the surrounding communities. The centre provides a focal point for training, but mostly allows communities to come together, share ideas, get organised and develop new skills. The goal of the centre is to improve farmers' productivity and in the future enable them to access credit and increase the value of their products.
Masalah kegiatan pertanian juga sekarang juga petani-petani di desa-desa juga sudah meningkat sekitar 75% selama UKPM telah berdiri di sini. Pengamatan saya kalau masalah OSPAM juga saya rasa kalau itu NGO apapun, tapi yang kalau di Panga ini terutama juga Panga juga saya lihat itu memang OSPAM telah membantu pertama kali kami masalah itu pembersihan kampung, itu yang terutama kali. Tadi kalau kita mungkin nggak bersih kampung itu nggak jadi, itu yang terutama kali yang sangat penting, itu saluran-saluran itu yang sudah bersih, juga sawah itu yang kami sangat merasa bangga.
I was very interested to see the active participation of both, not just men and also women.
Yeah, you can see from the total of the board, 19 members of the board, 7 is a women.
So this is the traditional market sponsored by Oxfam. Yeah. Excellent. This marketplace is a partnership between Oxfam, IRC and the local government. It provides a long-term economic solution to both producers and retailers. Yeah! Terima kasih.
Pergi kampung, gaji laptop ribu tu dah. Nah, habisnya lepas 6 bulan, baru dia muka-muka macam ni jalan. Dalam tempoh 2 tahun, baru pindah ke nau. Buat tempat yang diberi bantuan dari LT dengan OPAM.
For me, coming back 3 years after I first arrived, it's been absolutely joy to see that what was an original concept actually coming through to fruition. Or what would you say in terms of actually looking at this project and how we could learn from this project and to develop it in other countries after other emergencies?
We should build the clear strategy by making proper assessment before we start working. This is very important for us because we must work with a very, very clear approach, clear way, clear strategy. So when we move to development, move to recovery, everything else, we still have connection with the work we do in the emergency. So we have connection like that.
So where we are today is actually being affected not only by the tsunami, because the community were living originally or here, then had to move to the areas along the coast, but also because of the conflict.
Actually, before the conflict, the community is also better here, but they become poor because of conflict. So they left many of productive rice field, productive garden here, and they moved to another area. And also they lost livestock, they lost house. That's make them poor.
How do you feel, or the communities have managed to normalize and get back to activities which they would have been doing before this hideous event?
Yeah, after tsunami, we see this is very hard for us to imagine that the community will come back like what we see today. We hope we can see in the future the community, they can stand on their own foot like that.
Before I left, Muksin wanted me to see a road constructed using cash for work.
Actually, these villages use another route on the coastal area before. It's a national road we call, but because the previous road is right now in the sea, so no road to access that villages except from here. That's why if they want to come back to these villages, they need to build a new road.
Initially, this project was thought to be impossible to carry out. It was literally built from scratch by hand to provide vital access to remote communities. It has now been improved through government reconstruction works. We started with cash for work with the idea to transition into recovery using grants, but now with the idea of forming groups, we've really taken this program a lot further. And not only has it benefited Aceh, it's benefited Oxfam globally. We've taken examples from this program and replicated them elsewhere. It's demonstrated to donors like Echo and Difford that we're a serious player in the use of cash in emergency programming. And It's demonstrated not only to livelihood people but to others in the Oxfam family how we can integrate our programs around the use of cash transfer. Right, well there's my hair done and my neck cricked and well, back on the road for the show. After 15 minutes of cooking, this is the final test. Wow, that is brilliant. Thank you. Right, so let's go and sell the rest of them. Yep. It's just incredible. Satellite TV, electricity. Quite incredible. Unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Colourful signs. Wow, this is amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant. Cheers!